All right. We've made it. Welcome to Gehenna Gaming. I am Marchosius, and I'm joined with some very interesting characters. We are going to play our very first session of KULT Divinity Lost, our actual play that we are calling Good Intentions. Gehenna Gaming is starting off with this very first scenario after doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different character creation videos. So if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're watching this on Twitch, I suggest going back and looking at the other character creation sessions where it's just me and one of these other cats. But we're going to start here. But first, I want to introduce everybody. So let's go around. Let's talk about who you are, where people can find you on Twitter, and what is the name of your character. Starting with you, Ravnos.
Oh no, it's not with me. Okay. Well, I am Ian Ravnos to many people online. I am the VP of Strategy for Gehenna Gaming. You can find me online at Gehenna Gaming or at Ravnos. Tonight, or today, this afternoon, whatever, I'll be playing Colin Merrick, a PhD candidate and adjunct professor at the New School in New York City.
And joined with us is Mr. Def Malkavian himself, my brother in arms.
Hey everybody, I am Rick. As Marchosius already said, Def Malkavian on Twitter. I'm one of the co-founders and VP of Community Engagement for Gehenna Gaming. And today I am playing Armand Para, a criminal.
Armand. I love it. And Minta, the eternal Minta, the unstoppable.
I can be found at Minta_Krikomi on Twitter. And I will be playing Anastasia Alexandrovna Rakosovskaya, who is a very young woman and a very lost woman who doesn't know what she wants from her life. So she doesn't have an occupation.
And with us is also Erykah. Hello, Erykah.
Hello, I'm Erykah. You can find me on Twitter at RosieRexit. And I am playing Avery Lee, a sophomore at Columbia University who is looking into some pretty crazy stuff for anthropology.
Excellent. Brother Wesley.
Hi there, that's Brother Wesley from Carrying Comfort Studios. You can find me on Twitter at Brother Wes or on Twitch at twitch.tv/Carrying Comfort Studios. I'm the founder of that, and I will be playing this afternoon Detective, Second Grade, Vice Squad, Vernon Fitzgerald. Friends can call me Fitzy, or they can call me Vern, whatever you prefer.
I love it. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. And thank you for joining us to everyone that's watching. I want to give a special thanks to all of our Patreons. You can find us on Patreon, Gehenna Gaming, just Google it, you'll find it. Everyone who's supporting us is making this specific actual play possible, so I really appreciate it. But let's begin. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And today we will meet the entire cast and find out exactly where KULT Divinity Lost will lead us. Episode 1, Friends of Forgotten. It's summer of 1983. And New York City is a very different place than it is today. While Reagan-era economic boom is in full swing, the influence of corruption, greed, and fear still holds sway across the entire city. A monolithic superstructure in the Trump Tower has recently been erected in Midtown. Skyscrapers like this one casting dark shadows over the growing homeless population. Local police are no longer raiding gay bars like they once did, but the AIDS epidemic has claimed over 500 young men and women in the city so far. Studio 54 was closed a long time ago for tax evasion, but CBGB's is still alive and well. It's kicking with new wave and hardcore sounds coming out of New York City music scene. The crack epidemic is in full swing as addiction and violence spreads like an infection. Times Square is a dangerous and debaucherous epicenter of porno theaters, roaming prostitutes, drug dealers, homeless people, and crooked cops. Wall Street is populated by late-night working yuppies all jacked up on coke with very little regard for anyone but themselves, as they rob the pockets out of the middle class with semi-legal schemes. The homeless population has skyrocketed in recent years due to the flood of drugs on the streets and recent legislation, which has closed many mental illness treatment facilities. There are more than a few tent cities and homeless communities under highway underpasses, neglected city parks, and of course, in the subway tunnels that are abandoned. Police departments are severely underfunded and have adopted an unspoken policy of ignoring underprivileged, low-income neighborhoods, opening the door for street law, gangs killing each other, and violent turf wars. Even in court, judges are collecting bribes for smooth judgments one way or the other. Our story takes place in Manhattan, where our characters reside. Tonight, you are all attending a group therapy meeting called Friends of Forgotten at a school in Spanish Harlem called PS 333. So, where are we all coming from? Vern.
Yeah, I'm coming from my walk-up flat that's in Hell's Kitchen. Making a little stop by the precinct that's Midtown North, near the theater district there. But I'm gonna be hopping over on the D line at Rockefeller Center subway station and riding all the way to fucking Harlem, man.
Yeah, well, this is a train that you know very well.
Mhm.
You know, any amount of hassle that you get is from the regular drug addicts, the regular idiots that you see on pretty much a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, every town needs a bit of pond scum in it.
How about you, Colin? Where are you coming from?
Oh, well, I'd probably be coming directly from campus, cutting across town, probably walking.
Perfect.
Colin's not exactly wealthy.
Nor all that comfortable in taking the train. Maybe it's just a little bit more safe walking up on the
Used to
street
it.
level.
Grew up here, so I've seen the city evolve over the last almost 30 years. Kind of used to the way the landscape has changed, put it mildly. Yeah, I'd probably swing by a liquor store on my way over, pick up a small bottle of cheap whiskey, put it inside my jacket.
Perfect. A nice little glass flask that you can keep inside your lapel and grab at a moment's notice. So, Anastasia, where are you coming from?
I'm coming from this guy who probably I met at the pub. I don't even exactly remember. Not sure what's his name. And I mean, I woke up, looked through the window, realized where I am, and I just tried to walk out from there as soon as possible before he woke up.
Well, let's hope you didn't leave anything over there, especially your number, so he doesn't give you a call later on.
Shouldn't have done that, I guess. Don't remember either. Maybe I gave him my number.
Avery, where are you coming from?
I'm probably coming straight from home. After class, went to go check in on my baba, grab a quick something to eat from a food stall, and then hoof that on over to Harlem.
You know, Baba, your grandmother is making sure that you're going to have a coat before you leave. So,
I grabbed my black leather coat instead. So
there you are. How about you, Armand?
Who's asking? What do you want to
GM.
know?
I want to know it all. Where are you coming from?
I'm probably coming from my Aunt Camila's house, visiting her. Told her that I would attend this therapy meeting. That way we could try and put this stuff behind us. I'm not really into this kind of stuff, but it's not too far away from where I live.
So for those of you that are coming from the subway, you get a little bit of a kind of an icky feeling. Just the day it's kind of feeling like you're about to go do something you're not really particularly interested in doing, going to a group therapy meeting to get over your problems. Somebody convinced you to go, so you're not exactly all that stoked about it. There's kind of a triggering effect that goes on when thinking about this as you're sitting in the train. So I want everybody, all the characters here, I want you all to roll your. Let's roll your disadvantage. If you have more than one disadvantage, you could just pick one and let me know which one you're rolling for.
It's a disadvantage.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I understand correctly.
So just roll one. Just roll 1d10.
1d10.
Yep.
With the disadvantage, can we to do it?
You can if you'd like.
I'm gonna, as I'm like entering school area, I take a quick glance around. I just pull out the flask that I picked up and from it and put it back.
Perfect. So the warm liquid kind of gives you that familiar stinging feeling down your throat into the pit of your stomach. You haven't eaten that much today, but boy, oh boy, does that feel good when you have some whiskey in it. There's a slight buzzing feeling. This is probably the third or fourth or gosh, maybe even fifth swig of whiskey that you've had since picking it up. You're feeling pretty good. There's a couple of gang members that are hanging out. You know, probably just younger kids, but looking tough on the subway or looking tough on the street rather, kind of staring at you, heckling at you, but you just ignore them and walk on by. Minta, what disadvantage did you roll for?
Did I have to choose myself?
Yes, it's I'm going to make it your choice today. Ladies' choice.
Let's go with the first one, object of desire.
Perfect. And did you take the subway or did you walk?
Yeah, public transport.
Public transport? Okay. So the walk from the platform was unnerving. The pack of gang members heckle insults at you and, kind of, hey, baby, this, hey, baby, that. One of them in particular probably said a few insulting and screwed up things at your way, that nothing you haven't heard before, but they start following you. With every step towards your destination, it almost seems like someone was matching the same pace as you, as if they were purposely trying to kind of tap their foot with every tap of your shoe. It's extremely annoying. So what do you do?
Do I know that like the subway will arrive really like fast? Like, will I be there like right on time? How many people are there around me?
There's nobody else but these three gang members and you. The subway's probably got about maybe 1 minute until they come.
Do they have like a small coffee shop there or something like, where people can get coffee, which is already open?
If you go up onto the street level, I'm sure there's probably, one of those guys hanging out on the side of the road selling hot dogs and coffee.
I would go there just to not like buy actually, because I can't, but like just look at the offerings, like stay beside another person until I would know that, the subway will be really, really soon there and I could just quickly go down.
Great. You missed your train, unfortunately. So, I mean, it's not too bad of a walk. You could probably, I don't know, 20 minutes, maybe a half an hour, or you could wait for the next train.
If I can reach the place by foot, I would just try to go then by foot, but trying to stay like on the main streets.
Great. Vernon, it's this is rough, man. It's a rough day. You don't want to go. You hate shrinks, and you got to go to this group therapy meeting. So I'm gonna make a bold assumption and say maybe we rolled something very specific. Maybe a little substance will help kind of cut in the situation, feeling of uncomfortability.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit on edge, pal. I'll be honest with you. So I'm sitting there on the bench in the subway car, kind of looking around. I kind of feel myself starting to slink back off to sleep. Can't be having that. Always got to stay a little bit awares. So I get up to check the map, and I pull a little small tin, like a little snuff box, out of my coat pocket, and I just kind of flick it open real quick, take a pinky, and then adjust, and then turn back around and go back to my seat, and just kind of relax.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. There's a rather tall man standing in the middle of the subway. There's probably in the middle of the subway car, probably about 2 or 3 other people sitting in the seats beside you. He's wearing a really long, raggedy coat. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to upset or bother anybody, but if you could please, I don't know if you have any spare food or money or anything. Hey, and he turns and looks at you. All right, I see what you have. hey, why don't you just help? Why don't you help somebody out? Why don't you help a man who's in need? I mean, I can see you're a man who's well dressed, and you have something that maybe maybe you can throw something my way.
Yeah, I'll throw something your way, pal. And I go and I open up my coat pocket, and you can see the shoulder holster of my standard issue 45 revolver, and then also my badge is right there tucked into it on the inside. I'm like, is that good enough for you to maybe kick rocks, move on to the next car, pal?
Hey, I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble. I'm just a man trying to make some money. And he kind of
Yeah.
like his voice goes from this kind of familiar buddy tone to a little scared, and kind of goes off into the next car.
And just as he walks off, I'm like, solicitation is a crime, pal.
Hey, fuck you, buddy.
Just lean back and like kind of like not make eyes with anybody else in the car.
Avery, what did you roll?
I rolled a 9 for nightmares.
Okay, great. Are you taking the subway, or are you walking?
I'll walk.
You could drive as well. That is an option.
Driving in New York.
Well, it's nighttime. It's kind of around 8 o'clock at night anyway, so traffic's not too bad. And you're
College
going to Harlem,
student.
so
Yeah, and I'm a college student though. I mean,
yeah, don't drive. I mean, hey, listen, it's expensive to own a car in New York, especially these days.
It's stupid to own a car in New York.
Yeah, it is quite dumb. So you're
yeah, she's just gonna walk from Manhattan, Chinatown to Harlem, I guess.
So as you're kind of walking through the city, and the buildings are passing, you're kind of getting to an area that you're not too familiar with. You might have been to El Barrio or Spanish Harlem before, but this is a different light. Things seem a little different, eerily familiar. You have the feeling like you've kind of done this walk before, this exact walk at this exact time. The landscape's littered with abandoned buildings, ominous alleyways. The plague of addiction is ripe here. There's needles on the ground that are crunching underneath your feet, like broken glass bottles smashed in the corner. Homeless people that are kind of trying to warm themselves up in various causeways and overpasses. You're kind of starting to feel like maybe things are a little too familiar, and maybe things are feeling a little less real. You've definitely been here before in a dream for sure.
Creepy.
But you walk around the corner, and there's a big red building, PS 333. It says on the sign. It's an elementary school. It's a red brick building in the shape of a bat, with a gated parking lot in the back. Most of the windows of the school are covered with bars. The back entrance of the school faces an old loading dock with broken windows. As you're walking up, you can see a man standing in front of this loading dock, and he's smoking a cigarette. You can't really see his face because it's covered in shadow. He's wearing a brimmed hat, and dark clothes. But every time he takes a drag of the cigarette, the light shines half of his face. You can kind of see the smoke billowing not up from his mouth, but from the bottom of his feet. As you're looking down at the bottom of his feet, you can see that he's standing in a giant pile of cigarettes. There's probably about, maybe 70, 80 different cigarettes all butted out, as if he's been standing here for hours, smoking cigarette after cigarette after cigarette, staring in the same place. And he's staring at you. You are standing in the place he's been staring at for the past 5 hours. What do you do?
I'm going to take precisely one step to the right and walk up the stairs into PS 333 and just kind of give him a gentle acknowledgement like, okay, and then head inside.
He doesn't acknowledge you, but his head follows you as you go towards the back of the building, into the back exit. There's a flickering light over the back exit of the gymnasium door. You can see, someone smoking in front of the door. Nothing is ominous. Just it feels a little less tension. You can feel like, okay, here's a normal person smoking a cigarette. I'm going to get away from this creepy, weird guy. And you go inside. Armand, what'd you roll?
Got an 8.
You got an 8. Perfect. Where are you coming from? How are you coming here? Sorry.
My Aunt Camila dropped me off.
So while you guys are driving, Aunt Camila is kind of, she's kind of giving you a hard time about stuff, right? She's talking to you about how you got to get a real job, and this is you take yourself too seriously, kid. Why you used to be so happy when you were a kid. I remember you were running around in my kitchen with my sister, and you were just such a cute kid. What happened? You're so serious all the time now.
What happened to the world, Aunt Camila? Look at it. It's a freaking mess. It's freaking hard doing all this stuff. When I got a job, like a couple jobs. I'm bringing money. What do you want from me?
That's more than money. I mean, life, right? Like, don't you want to laugh and?
Yeah. Where did life get Uncle Wilfred, man?
My husband has been dead for quite a while, and you need to move on. And that's exactly why you're going to this meeting. That's why I'm taking you to this Friends of Forgotten meeting.
Yeah, I remember. You don't have to remind me.
So as you're driving, you're listening to the radio, and you can kind of feel the pressure from tonight's meeting, kind of weighing in on you, in the guise of Aunt Camilla giving you shit. As she's parking, the radio frequency picks up some interference. There's a pop song kind of playing, and there's a fuzz, a buzz of interference almost as if it's in between stations. It interrupts some of your favorite parts. The lyrics of every breath you take, you cannot see me. With every step you take.
And I try to adjust the dial a little bit, see if the station up or a decimal up or down is going to make a difference.
It gets much louder. And Aunt Camilla's like holding her ears. She stops the car in the middle of the road, kind of half her butt sticking, the butt of the car sticking out into the road, and the front sticking into the parking lot area. I'll be watching you. Since you've gone, I've lost without a trace.
I like this song and all, but Jesus, you got to get your radio fixed, Auntie.
She turns it
something
off.
Else.
This old car has done me some good. I don't, it picks the AM stations are much better anyways. These FM stations are no good.
Oh God. I can only imagine what they have on there besides the game.
Armand, I like the talk radio.
You like what you like, Auntie. That's fine.
And I want you to like life more often. She kind of pulls in, stops the car.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I'll have some food waiting for you when you get home.
You're the best, and I give her a peck on the cheek.
So you get out and you see the back of the gymnasium door. There's a light that's kind of flickering in a strobe. It's a really stressed out woman, kind of picking at her nails, like standing, trying to figure out whether or not she's going to enter. Standing in the corner, not really looking at you, just kind of in her own thoughts.
I check my notes to make sure this is the right place. Just gonna look her and be like, "Hey, is this the Friends of Forgotten meeting, lady?"
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, she kind of looks up at you and jumps into her car and drives away.
Okay, fuck you then. Well, I guess I'm going in. It either is or it isn't. That crazy lady don't know either way, I guess.
Screw that, right? Make up your mind or don't. Should have got off the pot, right?
Yeah. What are you talking about? Wasted time.
Colin, how are you getting in? You're walking through and
yeah, I'd just be walking up, probably smoking a cigarette, walk right up to the front entrance, walk right in, and 80s.
So people are slowly filtering into the cold gymnasium, and there's a table with a haphazard pile of red and white "Hello, my name is" stickers, burnt coffee and stale donuts. Under the comforting smell of coffee and cigarettes, it's the undertone of worn sneakers and milk cartons, which hang in the air like a ghost of the children who once played here. It's kind of a reminder to everyone of their own personal lives. And the lives of those who are missing. the loved ones, the forgotten loved ones that haunt your daily lives. There's a circle of chairs in the middle of the room, and there's a centerpiece installation that mirrors the void in the hearts of everyone here. A middle-aged woman sits at the apex of the circle with a forced smile, eager look in her eye. Strangers are kind of standing, peppered throughout the room, burying their faces in their burnt coffee or smoking cigarettes, forming idle small groups for idle chit-chat. There's a woman consoling a man quietly, crying in the furthest corner of the room. You could hear polite whispers, small talk, and clicking of shoes. The sound of a pipe dripping from the rafters mocks the safe space which has been created here for this short period of time. No matter how hard you try to hold on, life continues, and one day this pipe, like everything else, will burst in rains of tears of rusted sulfuric city water, staining your faces and staining the horrid ground of this city. So
I would grab a name tag, scribble my name on it pretty illegibly, slap it on my jacket, pour myself some coffee, put a splash of whiskey in it, and then I grab a seat, not next to anyone because I don't particularly want to talk to anyone.
Armand, you come in with a fire. How do you walk in? What do you do?
I'm walking in. I'm gonna see this guy who's crying in the corner. Just kind of like snicker to myself and be like, "Takes a big man to cry. It takes a big man to laugh at that man." And then I'm just gonna, I don't know. I guess there's name tags.
The woman that's consoling him kind of looks over at you and says, it takes a real man to be in touch with his emotions. Okay.
I don't even acknowledge that. I'm just gonna take a name tag and write A on it and put it on my jacket. Maybe make a little anarchy A out of it and write Armand.
Maybe an upside down anarchy sign.
That's a V.
Oh, yeah, right. Anastasia.
So when I walk in, I take a glance at the crying boy, but mostly I just try to quickly, being unnoticed, almost like just grab the note, write my name, because I know that I have to do that, put it on, and then I would go towards where the snacks and coffee can be found. I would pour myself a cup of coffee. I would grab some snacks, and if it's possible, like if I will see that nobody sees, I want some of the snacks to put in my backpack.
Let's have you roll for act under pressure for that one.
Okay, so what do I need to roll? I'm sorry, I don't understand how the
That's
rolling
okay.
works in Call.
So you have 2 d10s. You're going to roll both those d10s and add your coolness level.
Okay, so I got 5 and 6, so that's 11, and my coolness is 0.
Okay. Well, you steal it. No one seems to see you.
Okay, cool. And then I just go and find myself a spot where I can nom 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 and drink coffee.
Excellent. All right, Avery.
What
are you doing?
I'm just going to grab a name tag, scribble my name on it, and then I'm going to go grab a cup of the most awful coffee on God's green earth. It's more like sugar and cream with just a little bit of coffee. So, and then just take a seat, probably similar to Ian's character. I forgot his name. What's your name again? I'm sorry.
Colin.
So probably directly across from Colin, but similarly not next to anyone.
Yeah, everyone seems to be sitting in their own little kind of mini safe spaces themselves, with hoping to have a chair on one side and a chair on the other, and no one sitting close to them.
A healthy buffer.
A healthy buffer, if you will. And as you guys are sitting down, people are starting to kind of follow your lead and sit down. Actually, Avery, there's a big black man that sits down right next to you. In fact, he was the guy that was crying. But he seems to be completely held together, and he his eyes are a little red, looks over at you. Good evening.
Evening.
awkwardly laughing.
Good evening.
I like your style hair. Kind of looks down and gets real quiet. So, Detective Vernon, what are you doing? Unmute yourself, buddy.
I walk in and I immediately take stock of the room, kind of size people up. Walk over to the table with the name tags, and I just put Vern, VERN, slap it. I make sure everything is tucked in, nothing showing. I take my rings off except for one, and I put it in my pocket right here close. Then I'm going to grab a cup of coffee, a donut, just kind of turn, dip it in the coffee, eat a bite, look over the group. I want to find the most suspicious looking of the group and sit right next to him.
Well, let's have you observe the situation.
All right.
As you're doing that, it's 2d10s, and let's see, we're gonna roll plus perception.
That is 2 9s, plus 1.
Okay.
So it's like 19,
It's 19.
right?
Yeah, it's 19.
Yeah.
All right. So you said that you're going to be looking. We're going to normally how this works. There are two questions that you can ask, but here's what we're going to do for this one. You're looking around. You can see, the woman in the middle. Average height, blonde woman with a perm, looking very nervous and trying to look her most unassuming, friendly, and relatable, but she's slightly awkward. There's a tall, skinny black man in his 40s sitting next to a woman with a very interesting style. Avery, why don't you describe your style?
Very new wave punk. So lots of black. She's wearing a pair of, beat up combat boots, probably torn black tights, a sort of dolman shirt like I'm wearing with one shoulder off,
Mhm.
heavy makeup, crazy wild black hair. Looks like she literally just kind of rolled out of bed with that, maybe punched herself in the face for the makeup.
Oh.
Standing behind kind of a couple chairs down, there's this kind of average height punk kid in his early 20s. Looks like he's probably recovering from some kind of heroin addiction or whatever, but he seems to be standing in front of a chair which has another woman sitting in it with a very interesting style as well. Minta, or I'm sorry, Anastasia, why don't you describe your style as well?
So Anastasia, I wear a leather jacket, very short pink dress, fishnet ties, combat boots, which appear to be very muddy, dusty. I wear these fishnet gloves as well with many rings, jewelry, pink hair, tangled, lots of glinting stuff, these glasses with hearts, lots of makeup, tattoo here with 5 stars. And I'm just munching on food and coffee excitedly, kind of even.
Vernon, obviously this is kind of like the punk corner of the room. Nothing you haven't seen before, but you do see a very serious gentleman sitting a couple chairs down. Armand, describe yourself.
What you see is what you get. Leather jacket, white shirt, comb back hair, couple scars on his face. Just kind of waiting to see who breaks out a cigarette first and begins smoking in this meeting.
Oh, Colin is literally sitting there smoking before you even walked in.
Well then, fuck, I light one up right there. I'm not gonna wait for that. As I see the square come in, I'm eyeballing him like he's a narc.
So you also see there's a woman, short white blonde woman in her 50s, who's kind of looking like she smells something bad and kind of giving the stink eye, literally the stink eye to someone in the corner by the table, just kind of noshing on as much food as possible rudely and picking his nose and throwing food on the floor he doesn't like, and this very disheveled, gross looking man. I don't know, he could be homeless, I don't know, or he just could not care about cleaning himself. Probably hasn't taken a shower in quite some time. And his hair is all matted on one side of his head, kind of like dreaded on the other, but only because he hasn't washed his hair for so long that it's starting to kind of clump up. And then you see another gentleman who's kind of walking through to the sit down. He's walked in smoking. Colin, why don't you describe yourself?
Yeah. Colin, it looks like the biggest square in the room. Wearing gray slacks, a tweed jacket, blue button-down shirt that's open at the collar, glasses, kind of like side-combed hair, average height, white boy. Probably one of the older people in here. He's probably in his late 20s, early 30s. Very much the bookworm looking type. He is smoking a cigarette. He did, when he walked in, he stopped and poured himself some coffee, and then kind of stood there for a minute with his back to the room. Bought it. He was pouring some whiskey in it. Puts that back in his pocket, and then he kind of just walks over and slumps down in a chair, sips the coffee, kind of grimaces at it like, oh God, that's terrible. Keeps smoking a cigarette. Looks around the room.
So, yeah, it's an interesting cast of characters that we have here, Detective. The most, I believe you're asking who is the most suspicious looking?
Yeah, who looks the most suspicious?
Well, the guy at the table who's chowing down, obviously grabbing a free meal real quick, does look the most suspicious and less engaged in this whole thing. When he turns and looks at you, his eyes are it's insane. They're he hasn't slept in quite some time. The bags are pretty thick. He's I don't know. He looks jaundiced, so there's kind of a yellow tinge to his eyes as well.
Mhm.
He's got these sores that are coming from like his ear all the way down to his mouth, down his chin, and some irritation on his neck, and there's a couple scabs that are kind of weeping on the top of his head, and he's kind of wiping his brow. On a hot night, it would be sweat, but it's definitely not sweat. What does he see when he turns and looks at you? How are you? Describe your style for everybody.
He sees a guy that's probably at one point in his life was at the height of physical fitness. Probably looked close to as close to Don Johnson as he probably is, but not anymore. You're seeing a man breaking on the crest line of 50 years old, a new developed double chin, thick mustache. He had rings on his fingers, but you see him take them off. He's got a Cuban link chain. He's wearing a nice suit. It's a nice, just a crisp navy suit like this. Nice pastel purple shirt underneath. It looks like it could be Italian. Probably is. He's got a glasses on that seem to be designer in some nature with amber. And if you look past him, you probably see that he has some tired eyes as well. He's got reddish brown hair that's in a very Phil Collins style mullet that probably had a full hairline about 10 years earlier, but it is starting to recede. And there is a bulge underneath the left hand of the suit, wearing Italian loafers. It looks too well dressed for in here. And looks pretty amused. He's got green, misty eyes. And he's stout. He's a stout guy. He's not tall. He's about 5'9". He looks like he was probably built like a brick house, but now he's starting to show a little bit of schlub. Just a little bit, though. He's trying to keep it tucked in. Trying to keep it contained.
Yeah, you got to tuck that slub in.
That's right.
So there's a kind of a chunk, a hard clunk that kind of spooks everybody. There's a giant clock on the wall, kind of like those big cafeteria clocks that you see in elementary school gymnasiums. But at the hour hand, when it hits 9 o'clock, chunk, kind of rings in the meeting a little bit. There's a woman who's standing there in the middle, the practice smile on her face. Her eyes are kind of telling a different story. As you're sitting in your chairs, and there's only a few sparse chairs left open. Most of the chairs are taken by everybody. Unfortunately, no one has been able to really create their own little safe space, except for one person. That strange fellow, that strange, disgusting, dirty fellow. He doesn't have anybody sitting right next to him. He's the only one that has two seats wide open.
Yep.
I wonder why.
Yep.
There's a lump in that woman's throat as she observes a collective grief from all the survivors in this damnable room. Damn it. Why couldn't it have been a less cold room? Or maybe I should have put something together with pillows or better coffee. Excuse me, everyone. It's 9 p.m. I think it's just time to. I think it's almost time to begin. So if everybody can take their seats, everybody comes together and they all kind of sit in their chairs. Anybody who's left walking around with their coffee, putting out their cigarettes or lighting new ones, taking swigs of coffee or whiskey. Judith welcomes everyone to the Friends of Forgotten, and wants to. I would like to start with something different today. We have a lot of new faces here. We have some old faces. And Jordan, it's really nice to see you. And she kind of gestures over to the tall, skinny black man. He's like, yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Hey, listen, it's much better than some other things that I could be doing on a Wednesday night. I like it here. You're really helping. Thank you. Thank you, Judith. Judith, who's the average type blonde woman, was big perm. Her hair is just huge. Well, thank you, Jordan. That's really nice of you. And you know, like they say in some other groups, keep coming back. It works if you keep on working it. Or I don't know. Gosh, that's dumb. I want everyone to feel like this is a place where they can express themselves. I want everyone to feel safe. Avery, when she says safe, you kind of glance out the window, and it's on the other side of the building now at this point, but you can see someone standing outside smoking a cigarette. I want you all to feel safe and comfortable because moving on is not easy. We've all lost somebody, and we're all trying to kind of pick up the pieces. Life goes on, and I promise you, we can. I promise you, we can do it. I want to start with a little round robin because there's some new faces, some old faces. Let's start with some of the new faces. I know it's a lot of pressure, and I know that it was very hard for you to actually come to your first meeting, but you know, this is El Barrio. It's great food and wonderful people, and this school used to be a hospital, but now it's a wonderful school, and I feel like this is a very comfortable place where you can introduce yourself. So at least tell the group, where did you what brought you here today? Who wants to volunteer? And she kind of like looks over at everybody, like excited that anybody's about to jump up and volunteer. Probably not.
Hi, I'm Colin. Is there something else I'm supposed to say? Is this like AA where you're like, hi, I'm Colin and I'm an alcoholic, or is this?
Oh, no. Well, it's kind of, Colin. It's a pleasure. Thank you for trying the first step towards freedom of your own grief.
Sure.
So, kind of what keeps you going day to day these days? We got to survive, right?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, the day-to-day life. I job, I work, I hang out with friends.
She's like fumbling her clipboard and okay, as if this is completely unpracticed, and she just has a bunch of notes in front of her trying to. So if you've mentioned AA, I myself am 10 years clean.
Good. I raise my coffee cup and I'm like, oh, good for you.
Thank you, and good for you for coming. Do you? I hope you don't have any dangerous vices.
I take a drag off my cigarette and just shake my head. No, no.
Well, at times when we're feeling uncomfortable, we find that we want to make ourselves feel more comfortable with substances. So it's great to hear that there's someone else who's just as sober as I am. So you're definitely in great company. Tell us about your loved one.
Oh, the person I lost?
Yes, the person that is no longer here.
Oh, my my friend Ivory kind of saying. So now I guess.
You hear giggling from the homeless gentleman sitting in the chair. Missing. I'm. Let's just be respectful. It's very hard to come here, and Mr. Colin, you said.
Yep.
This is hard. So, Ivory, tell me about Ivory.
I kind of glance around the room. Obviously, like I don't want to share a bunch of personal information in front of strangers. I mean, we were friends. Like we went to school together, and he just kind of went missing. Pretty close, but her parents filed a missing persons report. Nothing ever. So, seems kind of weird, I guess, to me.
Yeah, it seems weird for all of us, and Ivory would want you to not feel weird anymore. Who else would like to share? She kind of looks around.
I'll go.
Sir. Hi.
Hi. Yeah, so I lost my uncle. He also went missing. Probably dead. I don't know, but you kind of hang on to some hope, but you never know what's going to happen.
I wonder what he's holding on to. You hear from the strange man in one of the chairs.
Excuse me?
I said, I wonder what he's holding on to. Now
What
that
do you-
you're not holding on to him.
Vernon takes like a look around at the guy, and it's just kind of like staring him down.
And he's just staring right at Armand.
All right.
Why don't you tell me? You seem like an expert. What do you think he's holding on to?
He's holding on to oblivion.
Enlighten us as to what that is. What the hell are you talking about, dude? You want drugs?
Drugs. No, there's no drugs. There's no drugs that can even help unlock any of this. I mean, there are drugs, right? And he kind of looks over at Vernon. The woman kind of gets, oh, okay, everyone, let's just get through this. We don't have a lot of time. I just want to give everyone a chance to share.
Yeah, some of us have left time than others. Who is this clown interrupting me as I'm trying to share? And why is this happening?
Mr. Armand, let's be respectful, please.
Yeah, like that wasn't respectful.
Sir, calm down.
I'm pretty calm myself. I don't know. Whatever.
Seems calm to me.
When they get, okay, I have to take this. Conflict resolution. I respect your feelings. And she looked like it's kind of doing this awkward point at Armand. And I respect that it is hard to share. So thank you for sharing. Miss, and she points over at
easy.
Anastasia.
Would
you like to share?
Me?
Yes, you. And she's like trying not to look in the direction of Armand. Is clearly she pissed off.
My name is Anna. What do I have to say?
What brought you here today?
A very difficult situation, I would say. I couldn't, well, I lost someone very dear to me, and can't, I don't know how move forward.
Yes, and well, this is the first step to moving forward. What is your lost loved one's name?
Um, she she was my lovely grandmother, and her name was Olga. And yeah, yeah. So
grandmas are the cornerstone of every family, and they often, we've had many come to Friends of Forgotten with, you know, childhood grandmothers who have passed. This is very common, and you know, I just want to say, Miss, that if anybody who has lost anyone, losing a grandma is the most common. Maybe losing a grandfather is probably more common.
I don't know how you would consider that common. I mean, I don't know where she is or what happened to her. She just, you know, walked off from home and never came back.
Yes, and you know, she would want you to walk as well, and walk the path of forgiving yourself for holding on to her memory for too long. uh is Grandpa around? Or did he also? She's
No,
like,
I don't have anybody that had my grandmother.
oh, so there was just your you know, I miss my grandmother too. And you, Miss, who did you? She points over to Avery. What brought you here today?
My grandmother pushed me to come.
Ah, see, grandmothers are the cornerstone of every family. And did you lose her as well?
No, my grandmother encouraged me to come here because my father's been missing.
Oh, he's been missing.
Mm-hmm.
And where did he go?
Don't know. He was on site at a new archaeology dig and just went missing. Grandmother thinks he's dead, thinks I need to move on, and so she said I need to come here.
For generations, we have been trying to figure out and unlock the mystery of the unlife, the afterlife. Where do we go when we die? I wish I could answer that as well.
Well, every culture's got a different opinion on where we go when we die, so who's to say which one's right?
Well, I mean, they might be all kind of similar, though, right?
You'd
No,
be very surprised that they're not.
I should say so.
They're pretty dramatically different.
Yeah.
Actually.
Statistically speaking, yes.
She kind of grabs the cross that's hanging from her neck. Well, they just need you know, certain cultures just need a little extra help understanding. That's all.
Yeah.
What? We don't even know if these people are dead, dude. They're just gone and missing.
Ce n'est pas.
Oh no,
conclusions.
we're just trying to if we could, you know what? Normally I would have started off this part with a prayer, but let's move on.
Yeah, this guy wants to go here.
You sir, with the glasses.
Yeah. Before we start my talking and my sharing, because you know it's important to share and everything like that, I just want to know what kind of credentials do you have, lady?
I am also curious, actually.
You a doctor or something? You a nun or something like that? You know.
I have been working in social work for about 20 years now.
Social worker. Oh yeah.
Involved with the Friends of Forgotten organization, which has a network of support groups around the city.
Of course. Yeah. Friends of Forgotten, social work. We all know how reliable social work here is in the city, huh?
Oh, thank you. That means so much.
I don't know if that was a compliment, but hey, okay.
Hey, yeah, I mean, we've got Quasimodo here in the back giving his commentation. He's probably the Surgeon General of New York City, huh?
I don't judge, and in this city, it's anybody who walks through these doors are safe to share.
Okay, good. All right, yeah, I'll share. I'll give it a go. Starting to see a pattern here.
Thank
Yeah.
you for taking your glasses off, by the way. I was about to say something.
You're welcome. Yeah. This name's Vernon. You can call me Vern. You don't need a last name, so don't ask it. I was referenced or recommended by somebody close to me that I should come here. I've got somebody missing. Yeah, got somebody close to me, close to my heart for a long time now. And they went missing a couple months back. People just kind of didn't know. She just moved out of the city apparently in the night, and nobody's seen or heard from her. So I figured, hey, investigate a little bit, and nothing's dug up. So somebody close to me was like, hey, you come down here. It's completely legit, no problems whatsoever. And here I am, and I can see why they like the meeting so much.
Well, I found that when we do find ourselves in a place of moving on and coping with survivor's guilt, that being okay with things changing is a kind of freedom in a way.
Look, I'm okay with change. It's not change that I'm messed up with. It's just I'm starting to see there's a pattern here. I mean, you two. Can I just get a show of hands of how many people have somebody missing in their lives?
She raises her hand high, and there's everybody around the table, or excuse me, everybody around the circle of chairs raises their hand high, except for one person. He's actually picking like pieces of food out of his hair and kind of slunk back into his chair. I lost myself a long time ago. I guess you could say if that's losing a person, then maybe I should raise my hand. What do you think? Should I raise my hand? Staring at Vern.
Hey, look, buddy, if you lost yourself or something, I'm pretty sure Narcotics Anonymous is the next PS down the street,
Yeah, well, it's a good thing that I lost myself because it got a little nutty in there. They're not a good group. They're not a family. They're not a family. It's a family that we're all looking for. All of us here are looking for a family. You are looking for your family. They're not coming back. You're not gonna find them, and they're not gonna find you. You will get found, though. You're definitely gonna get found. Every single person here is gonna get found eventually. And I was found, but then I got lost. So I was saved. Don't you see that I was saved?
Okay.
Spitting. There's he's not even swallowing the spit in his mouth as he's ranting and raving.
I'm surprised you're not leading this meeting, how passionate you are and how sure you are about how they're never coming back, sir. I mean,
I know exactly what this is. I've seen it in the papers before. I know what kind of thing this is. Thank you for your time. Put on the glasses. But I understand exactly what this is. You're probably not. I'm sure you're a nice lady. Points to the lady with the perm. But it doesn't seem like you're the one that's actually leading this thing. It might be this guy, right? Is this whole thing? Like, you bring us in, and then he starts giving his spiel. Next thing you know, we're all wearing white robes and everything like that.
No, white robes. No, gosh.
Yeah.
No, we've been a staple in this city for going on 5 years now. And we've helped the mayor deal with his survivor guilt. This is a legitimate operation. And sir,
You
sir,
say we. Has this clown been here the whole time with you? I think that's what Mr. Vern is trying to say.
yeah, I've been here the whole time, man. You don't know how long I've been here.
Yeah.
So this guy's right. This is ridiculous.
There's
You've been here for 5 years. You haven't found any kind of solace as to who you're losing. You don't even have someone you lost. You just sit here to try and warm up, get a free meal, and antagonize a bunch of people who are dealing with like their emotions.
Your eyes are closed, man. You don't realize that you've been here the whole
your
time
eyes would
too.
be very closed when we get the parking lot sometime, buddy.
She stands up. Now, everyone, I just want everyone just to calm down. It is perfectly normal to feel paranoid. This is part of survivor's guilt.
No
I've gone through
paranoia
it myself.
There's just an asshole leading this thing with you.
Sir, if you were just to please just calm down, as she's pointing over to the homeless gentleman, not you. And he starts kind of raising his voice and speaking in just word salad, talking about faceless nothings and how we're all here but no one's here. And she's trying to just get him to just calm down. I'm losing control of this entire. This is my second meeting, and I'm losing control of this room. I'm losing this room. You can't screw this up for me, sir. And he kind of stands up and starts screaming in her face.
He's been here a lot longer than her. That's ridiculous.
Hey, pal! Hey, both of you, calm down. All right. You know what? If you can't get control of this meeting, I'm gonna take control of this meeting. All right.
Why don't you roll plus charisma?
That's 13.
Okay, so she sits down and like is kind of giving up and not saying a word. Meanwhile, our John Smith over here is. You're not taking control of any of this. You're not in control of your life. Nobody is in control of our lives. They have taken all of the control. It's kind of pointing up to the corner of the room where the dripping, where there's that dripping sound coming from one of the pipes. It's getting louder. Clunk, dunk, chunk.
Listen, I pull out my wallet clip. I'm like, listen, pal, how much do you want, huh? Is that what you came here for? How much do you want? Let's see, 20 work for you? Does 20 work for you? Is that okay?
20 pounds of flesh? I'll take that. Do you got 20 pounds of flesh you could spare?
Okay, you know what? This isn't working. Put the money back in the wallet clip, and I go ahead and I pull out the badge a little bit, and I'm like, huh? Does this work for you?
He looks down and he sees the badge, and he turns and leaps on Judith and starts clawing at her face and biting at her neck. The whole room stands up. There's the punk kid's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And he gets up, kind of pushes Anastasia's chair over and runs out the door.
Following.
I'm immediately going to drop the badge and try to grab the guy from behind. Yeah.
Okay, so Armand, I want you to roll a plus attribute. Let's roll your violence. Both of you roll violence because Armand, you're going to be helping Detective Vernon over here gain control of the situation.
So 2 dice, and I'm adding my violence.
Yep, 2 dice, add violence.
So I got 8 on the dice, and I have a +3 to violence. So
Okay.
11.
So I got 10 and +3, 13.
All right.
And Detective, what did you get?
I got 11.
Okay, so both of you kind of jump on top of him. You get one side of his arm, and Armand, you get the other. It's really messy. As you're able to actually pull him off of her, but he's taking pieces of her flesh from her neck with him, just in strands of skin and vein, and you can see really deeply inside of her neck. It's just kind of torn open, and she's bleeding profusely and quickly. There's a lot of blood, and he's screaming at the top of his lungs and kind of grasping at your faces. There's a thumb that goes into your mouth, Detective, and kind of like fish hooks your cheek. Armand, he kind of kicks his foot back and kicks you in the nuts, and all three of you fall on the ground.
I'm just yelling out. I'm like, hey, stockbroker, whatever, glasses, fuck, wrap something around the neck. Get the fuck off me, man.
I will run over to her, but I don't really do. I'm just like I grab some form of clothing from her and push it against her neck.
I want you to roll charisma.
Charisma, okay.
Yeah. Because you're trying to you're it's almost like you're walking up to her and trying to you're not really doing it with some gusto. You're kind of politely trying to take clothes off of her to kind of put onto her neck. So you kind of have to convince her to let you do this, because it feels she's being assaulted and pulled from by her neck, and some strange man walks up and starts pulling at her clothes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm like, damn, Judith, just you're bleeding.
Yeah.
And I rolled a 13.
A 13, all right. So she kind of lets you take, part of her blouse to put onto her neck. Get off of me, God! And she kind of pushes you, obviously in shock. She seems to be hyper keyed into the situation, while holding her own neck, but there's blood that's just squirting out. Even though there's a kind of a silk blouse pushed against her neck, it's still spraying between her fingers, catching everybody's clothes. Anastasia, what are you doing during all of this?
When all that started happening, I probably would have ran into the farthest corner of the room towards where the others were running, like the punk guy, and I believe archaeologist. I'm sorry, I forgot the name. Avery. Probably was running, so I would also be running towards that direction, and mumbling we should call 911. Someone should call 911. Where's the phone?
There's a woman, a short blonde woman in her 50s, that's kind of standing next to you, kind of looking around and really kind of taken aback by the situation. I don't know where the phone is. There could be a phone in. I think there might have been a payphone outside. God damn it! You can't stand too close. I mean, we're just coming into this whole bloodborne pathogen thing. The AIDS epidemic is really hitting us, and you need to be really, really safe. Let's stay back. Let's not help. Let's go find a payphone.
And I would go with her find the payphone.
So you guys go outside, and Avery and the punk guy have already been outside. Immediately, both of you kind of ran through the door, kind of, one right after the other, like two bunny rabbits running away from a shotgun blast. What do you guys talk about?
Well, I've lit up a clove cigarette going, holy shit. For one, it's like, what do we do? What do we do? Holy shit, what do we do? What the fuck was that?
This is fucked.
Did you see how he just ripped into her?
Yeah, it was hilarious. Awful. It was awful, I meant. Not funny at all.
Yeah, imagine if it was your neck getting chewed out. I mean, I'm sure you'd find that fucking hilarious.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I would find that a very serious and not funny at all. Hey, can I get one of those cigarettes?
Fuck you, buddy.
Fuck me? Okay. I'm just gonna. If the cops get called, I cannot be here.
Then you're probably gonna need to go, because I'm pretty sure someone's gonna be calling 911 here soon.
Okay. Sure. Can't get one of those cigarettes. Your
Yeah.
number? No. Okay.
No.
I'm gonna go. And he runs off. And at that moment, you see an older woman and a younger woman with pink hair running outside, kind of panically looking around for something. Payphone.
Yeah, can I help you?
Have you seen where's the payphone? We need to call 911.
There aren't phones in the school?
The lady, this one said that there are no. I don't know. I'm here for the first time.
There's a payphone a block that way.
Okay. Did you have some, things, phone sense?
Yeah. I got a quarter for you. Here, let me just stick into my purse and get it for you.
Yeah,
Avery gives Anna a quarter.
The old woman said, I think there's a payphone across the street, right by that building over there. And she kind of points over to this giant pile of cigarettes that are sitting right in front of a payphone. There's nobody standing there.
Yeah,
There's
I would go to
flickering
that
street light.
payphone. I would go to that payphone and like call 911.
Okay. So you run over there across the street. Avery, you see her just like run straight through the cigarettes like it's a pile of leaves. And grabs the phone and dials 911. 911, what's your emergency?
We were here in this meeting, and the man, he just jumped on the woman and he bit off like half of her neck, and he's like sort of like he's like, I don't know, he's crazy. I think he's on drugs. I don't know, but like the woman is bleeding out and probably she's going to die.
You're talking way too fast. I can't hear it. I can't hear it. You need to calm down. I don't know what's going on, but what street are you on?
A woman is dying.
A woman is. Are you dying?
A woman at the meeting. We were at the meeting. The
Okay.
counselor, the meeting,
Okay.
and there was this man, and he attacked the woman.
Okay. What street are you on? Are you at home? At your meeting?
What is this street? This is like this school. One moment. I would like take away the phone call. I would open the booth, right? And I would look at old woman and Avery. What's the street? What's the address?
It's PS 333.
PS3 33 33.
Oh, I know exactly where that is. That used to be my old school.
Someone is like, please send help, police, medical,
Okay.
anything.
Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to calm down. Okay.
You
Can you do
haven't
that for me?
seen
Can you
that
calm
man.
down?
He jumped on that woman like a monster.
I've already dispatched some. They're already dispatched. They're on our way. We had a call earlier. There was a man that already called, so we're already aware of the situation, and we've already dispatched somebody. So calm down.
Okay.
If
Okay.
I can tell you a little bit, maybe something to calm you down. Will that help?
I hung up.
It's a good move. It's probably smart.
Crisis response.
And I would go back to Avery and the old woman.
So you walk through the pile. There's like a giant pile of cigarettes that you walk
I
through.
have seen more of those, I guess.
And there's the older woman is kind of standing at the sidewalk nearest to you. Avery, I would imagine you're probably still in the parking lot, probably staying as far away as possible from that phone.
Yeah.
Okay. So inside, there's a tussle going on. Colin just grabbed a scarf or a piece of the woman's blouse and pressed it up against her neck. She just pushed him away from her and he falls on the ground. Meanwhile, all three boys, the homeless, strange, crazy individual, Armand and Detective Vernon, are on the ground. Armand, you just got kicked in the nuts. What are you doing?
Pulling out my brass knuckles.
Nice. Vernon, what are you doing?
I'm going to be like, just like, don't let her talk. Just calm her down, and then I'm gonna try to rabbit punch the guy in the fucking face, like real quick, just like you're gonna try to fucking grab me, huh? And then just real quick.
Okay, roll violence one more time for me.
That's double eights. It's a 16 plus 3. That's a 19.
It hits home.
Yeah.
It actually knocks him out.
Good.
What the fuck was that?
What the fuck? Where's the napkin? There's a napkin. I punched this guy in the fucking face. Who knows what kind of fucking shit he's got going on with fire. Are you okay?
Go wash your hand with like the sink over there or something, man.
Judith? Huh? Judith, you with me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Keep that tight. Don't take that. Don't take that. Fuck. Oh, God.
There's a squirt of blood as she's ripping back open the wound, and she's pulling the blouse off of her wound and kind of handing you part of her own shirt.
No, I don't need that. I go over to the coffee table and I grab like a bunch of like shitty napkins.
We all have to move on sometime.
Hey.
Run back. I'm gonna move back over to her and try to Put pressure
Sit-
on their neck.
Sit her down. Sit her down. Sit her down.
Ma'am,
Can you?
ma'am, you need to.
This lady's already checking out. Like,
Sure.
I put the shitty napkins up against her neck.
Yeah.
I'm just like fucking holding it.
She kind of holds your hand and looks up at you.
Mm-hmm.
Walter?
Walter, I don't know who Walter is. Hey, stay
It's
with me,
you,
Judith.
Walter.
Judith, hey, it's Vernon. Vernon, all right? Hey, can we get like a coffee or something? She's gonna need some sugar. She's losing a lot of blood, man.
I knew you would come back.
I'm not. Hey, I've been here the whole time. Okay, you're gonna be okay. I just need you to hold on. Don't close your eyes or anything. Okay?
I'm getting awfully sleepy.
Don't go to sleep. That's the last thing we need you to do. Hey, can we get some coffee for her?
Do you remember what we used to sing? Do you remember the song, Walter? She kind of
Yeah.
looks up at you, hopeful. Blood still like spewing from between her fingers.
I'm like, yeah, why don't you start singing for me, okay? I'll sing right along with you. Just sing with me, okay? Sing for me, okay, Judith?
God is in his holy temple. And her
temple.
eyes roll in the back of her head, and
Oh.
she her weight just settles into the floor, and you can quite literally feel her leaving her own body. I want everybody who's in that room right now to roll soul.
$22.
That's a big old 4, Ace.
How about you, Armand?
15.
15. Armand, you hear the dripping of the pipe get louder, or is that the dripping of something leaking from a wound on the neck of a woman in her 40s hitting the floor of the gymnasium? But it's really echoey, and it's starting to get even louder than it was before, and longer. And you start to kind of hear a little whisper behind it. And the whispering gets more and more frequent. The light kind of flickers above you, and you can kind of see, if you were to look where the dripping is coming from, you can see the pipe where the drip is leaking, and there's a crack, and inside fingers are starting to push through the metal cracks. The fingers of so many dead children who once were in this gymnasium, who have now since passed because it's one of the oldest schools in the area. It's the fingers of your own childhood, or maybe even the fingers of Judith herself, as she's passing on to the other side into the crack of this pipe, the pipe of oblivion and the pipe of existence.
The fuck?
As that's happening, Detective, you can also hear the dripping get louder. And yes, it is coming from the wound. It's not coming from the pipe at all. In fact, it's not just the dripping of the blood. It's actually, there's a twitch that Judith has now coming from her hand that's holding on to it and tapping on the wound. And with each tap, her fingers push into the wound and starts pulling open. As you look into the wound, you can kind of see there's a hole from the opening of her esophagus, and there's a light pouring out. It's a pink radiating light that reminds you of the person that you lost, and the person that you once were.
I am going to grab the twitching hand real quick, and I'll be like, "It's Judith. It's okay. It's okay, Elaine. It's okay." And I start kind of like looking a little bit more into the light.
So as you look into the light, you can kind of see out of the corner of your eye that Judith's face kind of changes and seems very familiar to you. And inside of the light, inside of the wound, feels like home. and you're kind of compelled to go in there. Before you do, the room snaps back into reality. You're feeling very much in your own shoes, standing above a woman who just passed away. Armand is staring at a pipe in the corner of the room, and Colin is on the ground trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Shit. Fuck, man. I pull out my handcuffs, and I immediately go over to the pert, and I put my knee in his back and cuff him.
He's out like a light.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure. I've seen these cases before. I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, when he wakes up, he doesn't. I need a wash basin and a sink or something. A fucking sheet or a curtain or something.
Yeah. Let me find something, and I'll like go. Said we're in a gymnasium.
Yeah, you're in a gymnasium at an elementary school.
See if there's like a locker room with stuff in it that I can get into, or.
Hey, you okay, fella? Hey.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, hey. You might want to wash your hands or something, okay?
Yeah. Did you see anything weird? Besides that?
Not right now. Somebody just died, okay, man?
Yeah, okay. Happens all the time.
So, Colin, you do find there's actually an office. It's the nurse's office. So there's a bunch of towels, napkins. There's a box of Band-Aids that you see that you just grab for some reason. It seems appropriate.
Instinctual.
Yeah, sure. Band-Aids. I look for like towels, like wet wipes, rubbing alcohol.
As Colin walks back into the gymnasium with all sorts of towels and paper towels, toilet paper, a box of Band-Aids, just anything that he could have grabbed out of this room. You see these two punk girls kind of walk through the door with a awkward, scared-looking older woman with them. Avery, when you see this kind of scene before you, there's a dead woman on the ground. There's a cuffed, crazy person passed out, and three gentlemen who are very stirred up. How's that make you feel?
Taking a nice long drag off of that cigarette and just kind of taking it in, going.
Try not to look at the body. I take like the rubbing alcohol from Colin, and I like shakily unscrew it and just pour it over my hands, and grab a towel and wipe them, and then drop it.
Oh,
I'm like, if you gotta clean up,
dude. He stuck his hand in your mouth, and I pulled a bottle of whiskey out, like the flask of whiskey out, and handed it to you.
I take it and shakily look at it, and then uncap it, and then scope it, and just swish it, and then spit it out on that towel. I'm like, if you clean yourself off with a towel, keep that. None of you can leave right now, okay? And I go to find my badge.
What do you mean?
Yeah, okay.
I can leave. I have to go.
And I pick up, and I'm like, NYPD, pick up my badge, find it. NYPD.
Fuck.
We already called for a bus.
Yeah, well, this is a crime scene now, and nobody's leaving.
We didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. You saw everything yourself. I have to go.
Hey, you can't leave. You all witnessed this, okay? We gotta take statements and everything. There'll be somebody here soon if you called, and we can we'll get it all straightened out, okay? You saw that guy killed her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Good.
I'm gonna check out that pipe while they're all talking.
Yeah, you see, it's just a it's a pretty old pipe wrapped in asbestos. It's kind of got molds coming out of it from where the leak is coming from, and there's a little bit of a drip. You could see the asbestos been kind of worn away from rats picking at it. There's kind of this slice right down the center of it, probably from rats or something.
Can I reach it?
It's really high. You're in a gymnasium, so
Oh.
it's super. It's kind of high up into the rafters. I guess you could try, but it would be pointless.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to leave.
As you're opening the door kicks open and pushes you. All right, everybody. We're here. We heard that there was a tussle. Oh my God, Detective. It's Detective Arnold Garrison who walks over to Detective Byrne. Thank God you're here. I got a call from a guy who actually called my office. Didn't even call the dispatcher. Said there was some kind of dispute, domestic dispute or something going on here. The fuck is this?
Arnold, 1 second. I pull him aside. I'm like, somebody called you?
Yeah, this is gonna take a lot of paperwork. Holy shit, is she fucking dead?
Arnold, hey, focus up.
Yes.
Look here, man. Look.
Why is this the most important?
Hey, okay? So yeah, guy, perp, handcuffed. He's face down right now. Like tore with his hands and fingers her throat out. Okay, man. They all witnessed it. It was just a meeting. It was like a group meeting, therapy meeting kind of thing. She was running it. He's obviously fucked up, homeless, and oh fuck, man. Yeah, she passed away. What's the time? What time is it?
Yeah, it's 9:05.
Okay, so let's say 9:03 was time of passing.
Yeah, we have to. This is a crime scene. We got to close this place down.
I know. I
get these
told
people
them
out of here and get them into questioning. There's going to be a lot of paperwork here, but you know what? It's going to be worth it. Are you in for a long night? I know I'm ready.
What are you even what are you doing here? You're not homicide.
No, it's just like old times, man. Get a call, show up, got the perp. There's a couple of the cops that come in and crime scene investigators, and there's a couple of social workers that come up and start grabbing everybody.
Do I recognize these guys?
Yeah, you can see one of the police officers. He's like a beat cop. He's kind of standing there at the door, kind of he's kind of working the door, making sure no one's leaving, no one's getting in unless they're able or allowed. So Phil is his name. So he used to be like an old neighborhood buddy. He used to play stickball with.
Yo, Phil, what's going on?
Hey, Armand.
Long time no see, my friend.
You all right?
I'm great. How are you?
The fuck happened here?
It's a nut job who's been sitting on these meetings for 5 years, as far as I can take it. Kept interrupting everybody. Got little nuts, talking about all kinds of crazy things. Jumped on this lady and sliced open her throat or something. And then this guy over here, he's an officer, Vern or something. And I jumped on the guy to get him off the lady, and Glasses over here tried to keep the wound, bound, but didn't do any good. And then he put the cuffs on him, knocked him out, and that was it.
He's writing all this down in a pad. Obviously taking a state. This is your statement that he's taking.
That's fine. You got here pretty quick, my friend. What's up? I know some calls were made, but apparently this guy over here wasn't expecting you guys so fast. What's up?
It's above my pay grade. I don't know, man. The dispatch tells me where to go. I go.
Okay.
Hey, how you been, man? I heard that you got in trouble recently.
I ain't been in any trouble. This is probably just rumors.
I don't know. I just heard you got picked up. I don't know.
Probably a misunderstanding.
Yeah. Isn't it always, right?
Usually.
Hey, man. It's good seeing you, dude.
Likewise. Good to see you're in good health. Keep looking after the neighborhood, okay?
Yeah, man. Don't get into any trouble, man. You got a family, right? No. Do you? Do you have family? I don't know. It's been so long.
It's okay. We'll catch up sometime, I'm sure.
I got kids.
That's great.
So maybe don't follow up.
No, probably not.
And he kind of, walks away, lets you walk out the door. The rest of the night goes fairly quickly. It's one of those situations where, one by one, police officers are taking statements from you. Social workers are making sure that you're, mentally sound. Obviously not. And the man on the floor is still in cuffs. Big police officer comes in. It's got a kind of badge hanging on a necklace. All right, everyone needs to get the fuck out of here. Did you make your statement? Detective, what the fuck are you doing here? I thought I told you not to go to these types of cases.
You're muted.
I was actually involved. I'm not here for fucking fun or whatever. Do I know this guy?
Yeah, this is Ralph Pynchon. He's the for some reason the chief of police of the NYPD has decided to show up on this scene.
Chief, this is just small.
The fucked up night. I don't know. You're here. I'm here. We're all here.
It's a small homicide in the barrio, man. What are you doing here?
I could be asking you the same thing. How the hell are you involved with all this?
I was just here for a meeting. Like, you got the desk sergeant in the car with you or something?
Just driving in the area. I see lights. I show up, make sure everything's peachy keen. It's good that you're getting cleaned up, though. There's other meetings. You shouldn't go to meetings here. I go to an AA meeting down in the Wall Street area. Great group of guys. We go drinking after. It's a good time.
Chief, you feeling all right?
Of course I'm all right.
All right, Chief. Okay. And you just said you just drove by?
Yeah.
So, Marchosius, I'm going to assume that the chief of police does not live in Spanish Harlem, correct?
No, not at all. It's very unusual that he would show up to something like this.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I gave a statement and everything, and I'm sure everybody else did here. One second. I'm going to go over to the guy that is handcuffed. Is he still like face down handcuffed?
Yeah, he's still face down handcuffed. Nobody has done anything.
Has touched him or anything like that?
There's a dead woman and there's a man on face down that everyone is assuming is probably dead, but things are moving so quickly. It's really just getting the witnesses out before things start actually being
hey
through as far as
blues. Hey.
Yeah.
You come over here. Have you not started checking this guy out, getting him in the back of a car or something like that? You got to get him to booking.
We gotta get the witnesses out of here. You guys got to get the fuck out of here. You heard the chief.
Okay, yeah, I'll get the witnesses out of here. But y'all gotta
do all of this behind the door.
Lock it the fuck down, okay? God damn, it's a fucking crime scene. Fuck.
Yeah, but you know these things. Shit. You're gonna help me with that paperwork though, right? I mean, you came here first, so probably have, I don't know, at least 75% of the paperwork to do. I could do your paperwork for you if you want. I like it.
We'll talk about paperwork after everything else. Lock it down.
So everyone kind of starts leaving the building. You could see Avery as you're walking out. There's a man smoking kind of next to the payphone, staring at the building. Colin and Anastasia kind of walk out at the same time.
I light a cigarette when I walk outside. I pull the left of the flask of whiskey out and I take it from it and I offer it to you.
I point at your cigarette. Can I?
Oh, yeah. And you.
Do you have a lighter?
Pulls out a Zippo.
Thanks. Unusual scene there, right?
Yeah, that was fucked up. I have no idea. Honestly, I kind of regret coming here tonight.
Oh, yeah, I was not even supposed to be here, you know?
I was, but hey, this is a violent part of town, but it doesn't usually get that crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
So as
Yeah,
you're
I'm
talking,
gonna go to a bar.
It's not a bad idea.
I walk up behind them like, yeah, it sounds like a great idea. How about we all go to the bar, huh?
You all right, man?
Oh no, I'm
good?
fine. I'm peachy keen. Yeah. Let's say, yeah, I gotta get statements of my own. How about that?
But
Yep.
we just gave statements.
Yeah, you just gave statements, but
You ever go to a bar for fun, pal? I mean, what do we?
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I'm cool with talking about it again. We've all been through some stuff, but you know,
something's off.
something's off. There's all some weird stuff in there besides the fucking murder.
You know what? I'll even get the first round. That means you too, as well. Okay? Huh? You hear that, Cindy Lauper?
I look at Avery.
I think he's talking. I think he meant you, not Joan Jett over here.
Yeah, her too. Both of you.
Great look, by the way.
You know what? If you're buying, sure, let's go.
All right.
Why not?
Could use a drink after all that.
Yeah, and this guy can check your spelling when you're done.
Ow.
So there's a
cool.
there's like a really kind of low key dive bar kind of up the street. You all probably saw it as you're walking in. It's kind of on the corner. It's one of those places that have like pickled eggs and garbage food behind the counter, but no one actually eats it. And they don't clean their taps very often. So your best bet is to drink bottled beer.
Perfect.
Walking up. Hey Mo. Yeah. I'll get a gin and tonic and whatever these four want.
Yeah, sure. Hey, gin and tonic. Yeah, sure, man. Whatever.
You got a quiet booth somewhere?
Man, this whole place is a quiet booth.
All right, good.
Yeah, I'll get a scotch.
What?
Scotch? Whiskey?
Oh, whiskey. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, straight. Good. Yeah, thanks.
He pours a little bit of whiskey in like a tall pint glass.
I watch to see how much he actually pours in, and then I'm like, just maybe a double. Yeah.
Okay. He pours the like all the way up to the brim.
I pick it up and walk away.
My eyebrows go up. All right, one after a time, like Noah in the Ark. Let's go. Get the orders in.
Rum and Coke and one of those pickled eggs.
One of these ones.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
rum and Coke will do just fine.
I want a pickled egg.
I'm sure those might be decorative more
You
than,
don't want to pick
more than
You've
anything
never
else.
had a 100-year egg before?
No.
I did.
Delicacy.
Lady, these eggs have been sitting here for 100 years. Here, have the whole jar. He kind of slides the jar over, not wanting to open it, and pours a rum and Coke.
2 funerals in one night. This is great.
Anastasia, while they're ordering their drinks, you can see outside there's somebody standing.
Do I recognize the person?
You do. It's a large, broad-shouldered, muscled gentleman whom you affectionately know as Nanny.
Shit.
And he's looking around, like he's not staring at the bar. He's just kind of paroling.
Okay, so I will say, oh shit, oh no, shit,
Everything okay?
there's this, I don't know how to say that, some personal problems, let's call it that. There's this man and I now can't kind of leave and go, and you're a detective, right?
Yeah, you're not going anywhere there. Just go ahead and get you a drink. Sit down.
No, you don't get it. There's this, he's,
Let me guess. Is he your drug guy? You pimp?
Oh,
Something?
no. Just
Oof. Harsh.
a stalker.
Oh, stalker. Okay. Well, that's not my usual department, but look, just go have a seat. Go sit down with the others.
Can I order before?
Do whatever you want. It's a free country.
Can I get a bottle of vodka and a shot glass?
See, that's how you drink. This guy's talking about scotch. Puts down like he just puts the whole bottle of vodka on the table and just kind of walks away, or on the bar and walks away.
Okay, so I will take the bottle, I will take the shot glass, and I will move towards the tables which Vernon pointed out.
It's not a shot glass. It's actually a coffee mug that he puts in.
Whatever, I will take it.
Not like you're going to measure anyway.
Hey, big guy, what about you, man?
I'll go cultural too. Let me get a tequila, lime, salt. Well, maybe not on the salt. I don't know what you got here.
So he takes his sweet time.
I don't know about lime either, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lime juice, maybe.
Whatever. That'll do.
So he grabs a really ornate looking bottle of tequila and puts it on the bar. He grabs underneath him as a reach in, pulls out a lime and starts slicing a lime intricately and as carefully as possible so he doesn't hurt his fingers. He takes a beverage napkin and a really nice looking shot glass, which has like a little fake sombrero on the bottom of it. Pours a very precise amount of tequila and takes a salt shaker and kind of slides everything in front of you with the lime on the wedge of the glass and the salt shaker also on the beverage napkin with the shot glass.
He's a man. He knows how to.
I'm just wondering why the young lady didn't get the same kind of, I don't know, accoutrement treatment there.
This is how you serve tequila.
Yeah, there's a way to serve vodka too, my friend.
Yeah, in a bottle.
Okay.
I think let's trust the bartender here. Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
I look at the bartender. I'm like, okay, pal. How much is it gonna cost me for you to lock that door there and just keep him coming?
He's kind of eyeing you and looking at like your glasses and your
I
nice...
put the rings back on and everything as well.
Yeah, he's looking at your rings and he knows that you've got a really good style, really nice style, really expensive style. Depends. How much is it worth?
Let's I pull out my money clip and I count off in 20s. Let's start at 120 and we'll go from there.
Roll your charisma.
Very charismatic.
I'm in the wrong profession.
That's an 11.
That's an 11?
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, it's gonna take about like twice that. That's 100. Come on, man.
That's
look at that bundle you got.
All right. I'm like, okay, 300.
All right. So he kind of walks over, locks the door. Mm-hmm. As soon as he locks the door, you can kind of hear this kind of loud screeching sound from the walk-in where all the beer is kept, where all the kegs are kept. It's kind of like this wheeling, screaming sound from behind the walls. Sorry about that. This place is old.
Yeah, AC issues?
Oh man, that's our beer fridge.
Maybe you can use that, and I gesture towards the money to fix that shit, huh? And
I got you. He grabs the money and kind of takes the towel and throws it on his shoulder, all proud of himself of the good job that he did serving different drinks in these very specific glassware, and goes off into the back.
Gin and tonic, and I'm just like fucking hard.
Meanwhile, Dima or Nanny is still walking around outside.
I go sit down with the rest of them. We'll worry about Nanny later.
So you're all sitting down next to each other at this booth in this shitty bar, talking through the events of the night, walking through each person's perspective, talking about how the woman was awful at her job, how she didn't deserve to die, but she definitely didn't deserve to be manning that meeting either. Each one of you tell each other stories, why you came there and what happened. Detective, you're taking as many notes as possible in your head, but you're not actually taking notes.
Yeah, I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable by pulling out a notepad or anything like that. I'm just doing the old mental Rolodex.
Just a bunch of people sitting in a room, just shooting the shit and sharing their stories. I want all of you to roll disadvantages for me. Colin, I want you to roll for your rival.
Okay. All right.
Avery, roll for nightmares. Vernon, obviously, roll for drug addict.
Yeah.
Anastasia, I want you to roll for owned because there's a very large nanny standing outside looking for you. Armand, roll for your bad reputation.
Doesn't give a damn about its bad reputation.
I have a 9.
Three.
Is that 1 dice or 2, Mark?
1 dice.
1 dice. 3.
9.
10.
Anastasia, what did you roll?
9.
9? Dima sees you and starts running towards the bar.
What?
You see a large man, all of you, running from across the street out from the big windows, running towards the bar to open the door, and the door shuts. Is shut and locked. So you could hear the door kind of like slam as he slams into it, and he's trying to jiggle the door open.
Fuck is this guy's problem?
Fuck.
Is there a back exit?
Don't worry about it, all right?
Probably.
There doesn't need to be a
No.
back-
You don't understand. You don't understand. Just tell me where the back. Actually, you don't tell me. I will find it. I grab my backpack and I.
Whoa. You know this guy?
Long story. Doesn't matter to you. Just let me go.
I get up and kind of show off the shoulder holster a little bit. And I walk over to the door. And I'm like,
No.
sorry, closed. We're closed.
He just keeps going.
Hey, pal, you keep on jiggling this doorknob. I'm going to have to call somebody from down the street, huh? We're closed.
All you hear is just kind of this muffled, like, from beyond the door. It's a pretty big, thick, heavy door. You actually can't really hear much outside. For a shitty place like this, for a shitty dive bar, it's insulated fairly well.
Yeah. The shittiest places are sometimes the most secure locations in New York City.
So you have a man standing outside trying to get in through the outside front door. You have a bartender in the back room somewhere fixing some kind of imaginary problem. And all of you are all together trying to figure out what to do. You can try to figure out if there's a back exit. But I think this is where we're going to stop. I think next time we're going to pick up exactly where we left off here. And we'll see where this goes.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
So I want to thank, first of all of you for coming and playing with me today. This has been KULT Divinity Lost. Good Intentions, our actual play. Everyone who's watching, thank you so much. You could hear my daughter singing in the background. It's very cute.
Thank you to Mark's daughter.
Thank
Extra
you to my daughter.
creepy.
Very cute.
The atmosphere.
For providing the creepy soundtrack. So we will be here. We will announce on Twitter when we are going to be playing again. It's going to be on a Saturday at 1 p.m. Just which Saturday, either next one or the one after, we'll let you know. And that has been episode 1. So a couple of points of order. First of all, follow us on Twitter at Gehenna Gaming. You can find us on YouTube.com/Gehenna Gaming. You can find us on Facebook, Gehenna Games. You can also find our Patreon if you're interested. Thank you to all of our patrons. And I believe tomorrow we have something very special going on.
We do.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I want to make sure I'm thinking of the same thing you're thinking of, but tomorrow we are hosting a special episode of Warhammer Wrath and Glory with our friends from Darker Days Radio, as well as Cubicle 7.
Cool.
Excellent. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Was it? Okay, cool.
Yes.
And that will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, I had to double check that.
I think so. So,
Nice.
Yes, it is 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Make sure you come here to twitch.tv/Gehenna Gaming to catch that one. And I will see everyone on our next stream on Tuesday, which I'm very excited about.
Yes, where we will be actually talking about session planning and how much is too much, and pros and cons of planning versus improv.
Yes, I have some thoughts about that related to this game.
Oh, that'd be
So-
fun.
I gotta say, I love every single one of your characters, and this is such a really cool group to put together, and I'm
Absolutely.
excited to see where it goes. So, thank you so much to all of you. Thank you so much to all of our viewers.
Yeah.
And until next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Everybody.
Bye, guys.